Hi, folks. Hassan Ahmed here. Thanks so much for the question. This question honestly should be part of a larger series of things that immigration attorneys wish that our clients knew before filing an immigration application. But let's start with three. The single most important thing, and I'm going to lead with this, not only because I do believe it's the most important one, is not getting the right advice at the right time. A lot of people will tell you, you have to get the right advice. And that's kind of a no-brainer, right? You want to get the right advice, make sure that your applications are filled out correctly and that you're filing the right applications with the right kind of evidence and paperwork. But what's frequently left out is getting the right advice at the right time, because timing can be everything. It does no good once you've already ruined your immigration case or your chances of getting a green card or citizenship to get the right advice at that time. So timeliness is really, really important. I can give you example after example, and I always take time. If a client is calling me before they file something, a potential client calls me before they file something and before they make a mistake, right, on their case and say, hey, should I do this or should I do that? The ability to be able to prevent a mess and to prevent a disaster is worth every single second, every single penny that's spent on it. Because it's always easier, and this is especially true with immigration, it's always easier to prevent a mess than it is to clean one up. And so if a client calls me, I try to take the time to thank them for saying, look, I really appreciate that you're actually reaching out to an attorney beforehand. You're doing the right thing. This shows that you're smart. This shows that you're thinking about your future and the future of your children and the rest of your family, that you want to get the right advice at the right time before you actually do something, because too many mistakes are made that just cannot be fixed. So whatever time, and it may well be that the advice you get are things that you already knew. And if that's the case, that's fine. At least you know that you're proceeding on a path that's going to lead you somewhere. And getting that extra bit of assurance from an experienced attorney, someone who's been around the block and someone who's probably seen whatever it is that you're about to embark on, is worth its weight in gold. So I encourage everybody, anybody who's listening, make sure you get the right advice at the right time. And sort of a corollary to that is making sure that the advice that you get is in fact the right advice, right? It's very easy to talk to family members who may have gone through what you think is a similar process, or the community. And there's a ton of message boards and Facebook groups and online forums and whatnot that you can get advice on. But how are you going to be able to tell that that advice is actually right for you in your situation, right? I can tell you many stories of clients who've come and they thought that their case was exactly like their uncle's or their wife's or their mother's or their friends or their former roommates, right? But because of something very technical, perhaps a petition had not been filed before April 30th, 2001 in that case, and that rendered them ineligible for it. Perhaps they didn't have the right kind of qualifying relative. There's very technical things. Perhaps they had a conviction, a criminal conviction, where they pled guilty, even though the case was dismissed, and now that remains a conviction for immigration purposes. So it gets really technical, and unless someone actually goes through your whole history and actually tells you, hey, this is what you're facing, this is a red flag, this is something that might be different in your case that distinguishes it from another, it's better to know that beforehand, rather than, you don't want the immigration officer being the first one to come up with that. So that's the first thing. Get the right advice at the right time. The second thing, look, if I had the power to be able to push USCIS to make a decision, or make the asylum office or the immigration courts make a decision quickly on your application, well, I'd be Superman, wouldn't I? These cases take time, and the biggest mistake you can make. Let's assume you've gotten the right advice and you're on the right track and you're getting your documents together. Don't rush things. Abraham Lincoln once said, if I'm given 6 hours to cut down a tree, I'll spend the first 4 hours sharpening my axe. And that is very, very true in when it comes to immigration. Every hour you spend preparing your case, thinking through what might actually happen in your particular situation, and being prepared for other eventualities is time well spent. I always tell people, if we prepare a case and you go to your, whatever marriage-based interview or citizenship interview, and you walk out of there saying, why did Hassan scare me so bad? They said it was going to be like this and that, and this could happen and that could happen, but it was so easy, right? If that happens, that means I did my job. And it's only because we took the time to make the end result go smoothly and easy for you. Again, our job is not just to fill out forms. Our job, those are things that we understand. A lot of people do it themselves, and many do so successfully. Our job is to drive your case forward. Our job is to advocate for you. Our job is to make sure that your facts, your history, your rights are protected, and that the best possible picture of your history is brought forth to the immigration authorities. And whatever defenses are put, or if the immigration authorities have some doubt or concern or something they're going to hit back on you with, that you have a robust defense, somebody in your corner. So these things, defenses, they take time. And so, don't rush things. That's another really important thing that we wish all of our clients knew. And the last thing I'll say, and we get this question a lot, how will they know? We get this question, well, so I had a wife that or a spouse that I didn't disclose on a form. If I don't mention anything, are they really going to go into the civil registries of my home country and actually find out whether or not I was married? So what? So what if how are they ever going to find out? And the answer to that question is yes, they can find out. They frequently do. Do not underestimate what USCIS does, right? But that is not the primary reason. The primary reason is a good lawyer should be able to take whatever the truth is about your situation and advocate, use the laws in your favor to say that even though this is true, even though we have this spot on the record, I still deserve this green card, I still deserve this citizenship, I still deserve this visa, I still deserve this waiver, right? Lying will get you nowhere. And we take it very seriously at our firm, and do our best to make sure that applications that are filed are truthful to the best of our knowledge, information, and belief. And when a client says something like, how will they ever know? That's usually grounds for immediate termination, because it means that you're not looking for actual legal help in advocating for your position. You're just looking for the easy way out. That's not what we do here. So, we take our obligation to advocate for our clients very seriously, and we'll go the extra mile and fight until the very end to make sure that the government's feet are held to the fire, and that any rights that are that the law does grant to you are actually protected. So, getting the right advice at the right time is a great way to avoid problems in the first place. Trying to rush things will usually end in disaster, so don't do it. And never ask yourself that question, how will they know? Because they will, and even if they don't find out, if they ever do at some point in the future, everything you've built can be revoked. And that goes up to and including becoming a US citizen. So it's not worth the risk. It's the wrong thing to do. We won't do it. If what you want to put yourself in the mindset of is, how can I advocate to make my position clear that I can deserve and get this green card and get this citizenship, whatever immigration benefit we're talking about, free and clear after making all the proper disclosures? Thanks for the question.